Everybody back on? Ms. Ray and everybody? Anybody who's anybody?
Anybody who wants to be, I guess.
I don't see Miss Husky. You gotta read
The whole thing?
read it first.
Okay. We'll reconvene in open session. The board to discuss in the executive session only the subject identified in the agenda as the reason for which the meeting was closed. The discussion of limited personnel matters regarding A, the interim superintendent's contract, B, a complaint against an individual public employee, and C, the hiring of a new superintendent as permitted by NMSA 1978, section 10-15-1 H2 with the New Mexico Open Meetings Act. Do I have a motion to reconvene in open session?
Motion.
A second?
I'll second.
One over here. That was a 10. What did you say?
10:58.
Take a vote.
Miss Aspas. Miss Aspas? Miss Christina?
Okay, go ahead. It's back. Yeah, what?
I'm taking a vote to reconvene in open session.
Okay, yes.
Miss Haskey? Let's see her up. Miss George?
Yes.
Mr. Montoya?
Yes.
Myself? Yes. Possible action items on matters discussed in executive session. I need a motion to write Mr. Carlson. Excuse me. The issue.
I'd like to make a motion to
issue Mr. Carlson
extend
a contract
at the end of the regular school year to commence for a year.
You're making the motion?
Yes, sir.
Can I have a second on that motion?
I'll second it.
Then moved and seconded that we write a contract to Mr. Carlson to take over the superintendency for 1 year as of
July 1st.
July 1. Miss Aspas?
Yeah.
Miss George?
Yes.
That's not my vote. What is it?
We're taking a vote to give our superintendent, our interim superintendent, a contract for 1 year, beginning at the 1st of July.
And when does it end?
June 30th.
1 year.
Because I heard June.
The end of June of
2023.
2023.
Can you come back to me? Come back around to me.
Ms. George,
Yes.
Mr. Montoya,
Yes.
Ms. Haskey is not on there. So myself, yes, Ms. Aspas,
Can you go around again? No. Ah, yes.
thank you. Ms. Ives,
Yes, sir.
will you provide us with a contract
I will.
for Mr. Carlson to assume the responsibility of superintendent uh, at the beginning of July 1, 2022 to June 30th, 2023.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Items for the May 17 regular school board meeting. Ms. George,
I did have some, but I can't remember them.
Miss Aspas, do you have any?
Yes, well, to go back to earlier, that statute or the language for the anonymous donation, and then also the organizational chart, and this month's or current, not this month, but yeah, I say current HR report.
Is
And I would like to, may I ask Ms. Salazar a question?
Go ahead.
Is she on?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay. No, you muted. Okay. Is for the organizational, as far as specificity. Hope I said that right. Um, do we need to? I mean, as far as changes in that, do we need to say now or when the agenda is created, or
So is it, you would like to consider changes to the organizational chart? Is that what it is?
yes?
I don't think you need to state specifically what they are unless you, I mean, if you know what they are, you can do that. But as long as you indicate that they are being contemplated, that there are changes to the organizational chart that you're
Mhm.
going to be discussing and could, I guess, take action on that, I think that would be enough.
So would that be a executive and then come out?
Well, it would be only if there are things that are covered by the Open Meetings Act exceptions. You know, if there are personnel issues that are going to be discussed or other things that can be discussed in executive session.
Discussing positions.
If we're just discussing positions, then I don't think that would be an executive session item. If you're talking about specific personnel and performance, that sort of thing, then
Oh.
it would be in executive session.
This is positions.
Just the position? No, that wouldn't be an executive session.
Okay. So that's what I like. Tuesday's meeting.
How do you want to state that?
You might get with Pat. I think I gave her an idea of what I'm asking for. Get with Pat. Come up with that language.
Okay. Yes, you have my permission to call Pat and discuss that language. Is that what you're asking?
No, you.
Oh,
as board president.
okay. If you'll tell me what specifically you're asking, yes, I'll get with her.
I gave Pat a general idea.
Oh, okay.
So
I'll visit with her. I'll visit with her tomorrow.
yeah. Okay. Thank you.
It's about 50 minutes.
Is it a date, Pat? We'll
Right.
Visit tomorrow.
See?
In 12 hours.
Okay.
President Wells, I do have one, if I
Okay.
may. Can we get a report on the emergency drills, like, that happens when there's a shelter in place, evacuation, fire drill, lockdown?
You want to report on that?
Yeah, what I'm looking for is the debriefing when it's all done. They're supposed to come together and debrief with the faculty, and then the CAN reports. And we haven't had a tabletop wash for any of the departments or in the school buildings. We haven't had an actual like active shooter type of drill thing that's gone on where we activate the fire department, police, and they come out and it's like a simulated situation. We haven't had that all year at all. And I witnessed some situations where the process is not followed thoroughly. There's been a fire drill that I just happened to be at, and some staff left and there was no accountability. And I know that we're all adults, but when it comes down to if it was really to happen and they have the actual logistics and they come in, they ask for
Where they're supposed to assemble?
yeah, the command state centers, it won't be followed and there'll be no accountability of staff or, and then, and I've seen some that, where a student has left campus and there's no accountability and there's no debriefing after that. And those are all safety issues that are required and should be documented. So I know we haven't had those table washes or those exercises going on. So I'd like a report as to why we didn't have them or if we do have them.
I can tell you the answer that some of that right now had to do, it's not a great excuse, but because of COVID, things were just sort of like, oh, we're doing what? And all the focus on safety went to COVID and was taken away from that. I can tell you in my school, we did a drill where everybody's supposed to have the radios and supposed to go. And it wasn't a planned drill.
Mhm.
And it was the first one of the year, but it was the first one since a lot of this COVID stuff. Because COVID, you couldn't, drills are hard to do because you can't really gather, so like a lockdown where they're supposed to really gather in, it's like social distancing. So yeah,
Well,
we'd be happy to, I'll try to assemble the folks who will give you the report on what should happen and whatever report on maybe what we need to put in place and talk about it. That because we do need to go, I agree with that. We need to go back to it. I mean, we went from securing all doors to propping open doors. so that there was airflow
Yeah.
for COVID. And so,
And I understand that COVID process, but before COVID, we were required to have those emergency drills. They're in our safety plans. We submit those safety plans to New Mexico PED. They have a copy of those assurances, the 7 or 8 assurances, and those safety plans are sitting at New Mexico PED, and we are obligated as a district to enforce those living documents, not just put that binder on the cabinet. And I know we've had COVID, but that, it should be routine. And it all just comes back to accountability. And when I was at TBA, we had the kids were transitioning from lunch, coming outside from recess and lunch, and so everybody was just in the mix at that time, and we had a fire drill. And you just take your students, it wasn't planned or anything, we just take your students, and majority of them, we just put them in the and then we started taking accountability there. And whatever teachers migrated that way, they just started grabbing a piece of the papers and started taking count, and we moved them outside. And so those things, TBA was pretty well prepared, and we were able to justify where our students were, who had what students, even though they were missing from certain classes, they had all that documented, and they had their students lined up. I was impressed with it. And so on that level, that's where we have to be every day, because we can't plan, or we don't know when an emergency is going to happen. And so we can't, I know in the past when we've done these washes, it's like, oh wait, I'm going to be out of the building, or wait till the bell rings at this time because it's more convenient. But TBA, they were a really good example at that time when it wasn't planned and we had to bring the students in. So
Board President,
Yes.
you know, I agree with Ms. George that the big thing is being prepared, and regardless of COVID, God forbid it happens sometime soon, and they're going to congregate anyway. So I think I agree with and it is something that we haven't even done in the past, how many years, 2-3 years. And so to get back into the norm, especially for safety and especially for emergency, I believe hopefully somebody will come up with a good reason to go ahead and do this. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
make a motion to adjourn.
A second?
second.
This meeting is adjourned. Will you disconnect us back there?
So what do we do?